Welcome back to our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. It's Father's Day weekend, so today's focus is on the subject matter of fatherhood. Parenting isn't always easy in the best circumstances, and acknowledging the efforts dads put forth in the face of hardships can provide them reassurance to keep going, and as we get back to normal activities outside the home, to continue playing an active role in their children's life. My next guests are here to tell us about the Dedication campaign. Eugene Schneeberg is the Senior Fatherhood and Family Specialist, Families and Fathers and Families at ICF. And Durrell Lyons, he's a dad featured in this very important campaign. How are you, fellas?
Doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having us.
Glad to have you both join me here today. I'm excited to hear more about this national dedication campaign. So if you would fill us in.
Yeah, we are so excited at the National Responsible Fatherhood Clearinghouse about rolling out this new dedication campaign where we feature 4 extraordinary fathers sharing parts of their story, their fatherhood journey with us. Several of the dads have overcome just really great obstacles and have been resilient and pressed forward to be the best fathers they can be. And it's all part of our effort to continue to raise awareness about how critically important fathers are in the lives of their children. So excited that Durrell was generous with his time and opened up about his story.
Yeah, and Durrell, I'm excited to hear about your experience in being a part of this campaign and what you walked away feeling.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us. It was an absolutely amazing experience. I am very aware of that. I'm an 80s baby, and a lot of us grew up with no father in the household because of the drug epidemic that affected our community at the time. And as a result, a lot of us of my generation and my class, if you will, we've dedicated ourselves to being in the household because we know what it's like to not have a father growing up. And we always said, I know a lot of people just like me always said that we don't want our children to grow up without their fathers because we know the effect that it had on us. And so it was important for us to break that cycle. And it's very, very important for me to break that cycle. And I walked away from this project feeling validated, feeling like my story was worth telling.
Absolutely. And we're going to get a chance to see your ad campaign in just a little bit, but you really focused on your daughter, and a daddy and a daughter's relationship is like no other. Would you agree?
Absolutely. My daughter, we always crack jokes because my daughter looks like me. She's the first one and she's the oldest, but she looks like me. She kind of takes on my personality. I promise you, if you give her 5 minutes, she becomes a stand-up comedian. She's bubbly like that. And I love her to pieces. My son is 7 years old, so he's still in sort of the developmental stages in which, he's just like dad is his best bud and dad is his best friend. And that's great. I love that aspect as well. But we're dealing with my daughter, we're dealing with a preteen. So not only is it fun and challenging, but we're kind of getting in a phase where we have to shape her future. So the idea that she has, artistic aspirations that are similar to her mother, that work, my mom works in fashion. She's an accessory designer. And so because, she's taken after my wife in that way, and I'm there to encourage her, and she looks like me and she's growing with that personality. And that's my daughter. That's my baby girl, so it's very pivotal for me.
And Durrell, I can just tell by the way you talk about your children that you are a proud dad, and that's really what this is all about. Eugene, there were some interesting numbers that came out with the 2020 census. Can you talk a little bit about that data that had to do with dads?
Yeah, absolutely. And just before I do that, I want to say that, like Durrell, I was raised without my dad. In fact, I've never met him, but I'm so proud to be a father of 4 myself. And so the 2020 census data is so encouraging because over the past 10 years, we've seen an increase of 2 million children being raised with their dad in their home. I mean, that's significant. That's 2 million children with a loving, caring dad to help support mom, work hand in hand with mom to help read and bathe and play and financially and emotionally support their children, which is a sea change.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Those are encouraging numbers because so many times we hear statistics that are just startling. So there are still those numbers out there dealing with children who may not have a father present in their life. And of course, this doesn't mean every child, because the both of you are very successful men with happy, healthy families. But they say there are kids who actually deal with certain situations, like stats show that there's 5 times the average suicide rate, 32 times the average rate of incarceration, and children raised with no father present sometimes have dramatically increased rates of depression and anxiety. So the whole goal is to make sure that fathers understand that their presence really can change their child's life in so many ways, and those numbers are just an example. So talk a little bit about, as we wrap up, the importance of collaborating with other organizations to get this campaign off the ground.
Absolutely. So we're working with the Ad Council. We're supported by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And there are just a plethora of fatherhood organizations across the country working hard day in and day out to help promote responsible fatherhood, to help equip, educate, and support fathers. There's really been a movement for the past 2 decades, and we're beginning to see some real fruit there. And just to piggyback on the statistics you shared, the reality is that the research is clear that when fathers are positively involved in the lives of their children, that their academics improve, their behavior increases, and just the overall well-being of the household is stronger and healthier. And it's not on mom to do everything by herself. So we're excited. We feel like things are trending in the right direction, and we're so grateful for media outlets like yours that are helping to lift this up.
Thank you so much. And if you could just give us some information where one can go to get more details on everything that you've talked about today.
Absolutely. You can go and view the PSAs, the dedication PSAs at fatherhood.gov. There you'll find a whole host of resources, tips for fathers, and creative ideas and activities and fun events you can do with your children. It's just a great resource at fatherhood.gov. You can also follow us on Instagram at fatherhoodgov.
Durrell, Eugene, it has been a pleasure talking with you, and I thank you for your time today, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. Saturday is Juneteenth, Sunday is Father's Day. What a weekend to be a Black dad, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Eugene Schneeberg is the Senior Fatherhood and Family Specialist, Fathers and Families at ICF, and Durrell Lyons is one of the amazing dads featured in this very important campaign. Again, go to fatherhood.gov for more information on anything we've discussed. And we'll take a quick break, giving you a chance to see that dedication PSA with Durrell and his beautiful daughter. Then we'll go back and tell you how dads can visit the Milwaukee County Zoo for free. We'll be right back.
You see certain things get reincarnated in your children. My daughter is very much inspired by my wife's artistic pursuits. So my daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around. And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
You can help fight against COVID-19 at any age, but we need agreement from every age. Be all in with the Milwaukee Urban League to make sure everybody in the neighborhood is fully informed about the coronavirus vaccine before they decide to take it. Help unify the community. Get all in for change, all in for vaccine education, and all in against coronavirus. Let's move forward into a future where a virus does not dictate our moves. Visit tmul.org/all-in.